How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to another match review and reaction. I do hope you guys are keeping well and safe, and it's a very disappointing end to the season for Wolves. A 2-0 defeat at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. Wolves sliding to 7th in the table, and now we have to actually rely on today's opposition, Chelsea, to win the FA Cup to ensure Wolves get European football again next season. Very, very disappointing. I think we all know that it was in our own hands, really, to get European football this season. Defeats against Sheffield United, even if we got a draw there, that would have been enough. And obviously the decision against us at Burnley. There are so many factors since the restart, really, which you could look at and think, has that cost us? But overall, a pretty disappointing performance. And Wolves historically don't have a great record in final day games, but today was very, very poor, very disappointing. You look at the team for today's game. Patricio started in goal. We saw a back three of Sace, who returned with Dendoncker and Sace, Cody and Bolly. We then saw Johnny and Doc start on the wings again, and Neves and Donk in the middle, and Jota, Neto and Jimenez. Out of that team, probably the biggest surprises was Sace coming back in, of course, after Donk played centre-back last time out, and Jota and Neto. I think the front three wasn't really what I expected. I think possibly, I thought Pedence would have kept his place in there. But the game started very, very slow. Both teams were sort of very nervous. I think both teams were waiting to see who sort of made the first mistake. And the first big mistake was from the referee, to be honest. Stuart Atwell, historically, he's not had a great record refereeing Wolves games. And this one, he's got it wrong. It's frustrating, really, that refereeing decisions like that, and obviously which led to the first goal, which we'll talk about in a second, that's changed the whole complexity for the rest of the game, really, for the rest of the 90 minutes. One mistake can change it all. So Neto's gone to tackle Alonso. He pulls out, doesn't touch Alonso. Alonso goes down. The ref gives a free kick right on the edge of the area. You could see, the Wolves players knew there was no foul there. Mason Mount, to be fair, has picked out a beautiful free kick, pass through Patricio, and that's given Chelsea the lead. You can't stop the free kick. Obviously, it's very, very disappointing that the referee's given that decision. But the thing that disappointed me the most is how we reacted to that, really. Part of me thinks, let's just sort of, tighten up a little bit. Let's take it into half-time, and then we'll try and sort it out in the second half. But Wolves having a free kick going so direct, just pumps it up to Jimenez, and then Jimenez doesn't win the header. And you know what happens when the ball comes up the other end of the pitch? Defensive back three all over the place. And for me, there's two people to blame. Predominantly Sace for this one. He's completely lost track of Giroud, I think, who went in behind him. He's tried to stop the man. He just stood there, tried to stop the man. The ball comes past him. Giroud's taking it around Patricio. He sort of tucks himself in to make sure he doesn't concede a penalty. And Cody probably, he wasn't strong enough for me. He probably should have cleared the ball, and Giroud's got the better side of him and obviously put it into the back of the net. Going into half-time, 2-0 down, I think we all knew it was going to be very unlikely for Wolves to come back and win that game. A draw would have been possible, for sure. A draw would have been possible, especially with, obviously, Spurs drawing. That result would have been okay for us. But, yeah, we just didn't look like we were going to score at any point whatsoever. I think we had one chance where Caballero sort of tipped away a cross in the first half, but I can't really remember a clear-cut chance, thinking we should have scored that. Making the change, obviously Adama came on. I did think it was going to be for Diogo Jota, who looked out of sorts, to be honest. On a booking as well. I thought, he was walking on a tightrope going into half-time, let alone playing the main part of the second half. So I was surprised when Adama came on for Jota, for Neto, not Jota. But Adama again was strange. Everyone had a weird appearance for me. Adama was picking up the ball, and on the ball he's unbelievable. One of the best in the world with the ball. But what let Adama down is his off-the-ball movement, and today was the same. He drove forward with the ball early on in the second half, 20, 30 yards, and then he's sort of just stood there, just not moving. He's given the ball to Doc and just stood there. I didn't see him move for 20 seconds, 10, 15 seconds, where Doc's looking for a pass and Adama's just stood there. Make a move, drag 2 or 3 defenders. Every time we play against teams, Adama will have at least 2 defenders on him. If he moves, he's going to drag 2 players with him. And just elements like that, I think for next season we do have to improve on. Of course, then we saw the likes of Vinagre, Matinho, and Pedence come on. I thought Pedence looked good when he came on. Just looked like he wanted to make something happen. Vinagre, Chelsea didn't make it easy for him, to be honest. I was pretty disappointed with his cameo really, but no one was impressive. I hate to single people out like that. No one was impressive, and it was a very, very disappointing performance. We should never go into games relying on other teams to get results, to be honest. We should always have to do the work ourselves. That's what football should be, and unfortunately we haven't done that. Now we will have to go and rely on another result. We shouldn't have to do it, but we're going to have to in this case if Wolves want European football. And I hope Chelsea can get something against Arsenal next week in the FA Cup, and hope the Blues lift the cup. Yeah, Frank Lampard's had a very, very good first season to manage to get Chelsea top four on very restricted sidings before this summer. And let's just hope he does another job for us next week. Wolves finishing 7th in the Premier League. If you told me that at the start of the season, especially and told me we could possibly get European football, I'd be ecstatic with that, especially with the amount of games that we've had this year. It's been over a year since we started our season. Of course, we've still got the outside chances of us winning the Europa League as well and getting something out of that. But if we take that out of the equation, I think it's still a very decent season for Wolves. I know plenty of fans will be distraught and very, very disappointed and possibly angry that Wolves were almost sort of within touching distance. It was in our own destiny to possibly get top four, and we've sort of thrown that away. So, as I say, I think a lot of fans will be disappointed about that. But for me, if I'm casting my mind back to summer, I think I would have 100% taken this. Wolves have been good, but we will have to get better next season. The likes of Arsenal and Spurs are only going to improve, so we've got to really up our game next year as well. As I said in the preview, I really appreciate everyone's support on the videos. Today, it's not a great note to end the Premier League season on, but we'll be back, and hopefully we can get back to winning ways against Olympiacos in a couple of weeks' time. Be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. Next Saturday, I'm sure plenty of us will be Chelsea fans as well. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and I'm sure I'll see you all very, very soon.